Hi, hello, vanakkam, and welcome back to yet another episode on Little's Law YouTube channel. So today I have got a question um, where one of our subscriber has asked, like, she's not able to see the Beanshell preprocessor folder and the bin folder, and is there any option to save the random number and CSV file? So today we are going to see about this. So the first part is how to find or what is the function or the file that we are going to use for the Beanshell preprocessor, which is in the bin folder. And the second part is how to create or how to randomize a number and save it in a CSV file. So before we move on to the video, this is me, your Vasan Shanmugam. I welcome you all to Little Sly YouTube channel. Please don't forget to like, share, and subscribe to our channel, and comment your questions and feedbacks in the comment section like this. If you have your comments like thanks for my videos, and if you find my videos are really good, please do comment it. If I need to add some more information or if I want to do it better, please do comment your questions and your feedbacks. And if you have any questions like this, please do comment that in the comment section. And in case if it needs to be a bigger one, you can just email me to advasantc@gmail.com. So first we will see now to find the Beanshell preprocessor folder. So firstly, here is the latest version of Apache JMeter 5.6.3. So I have downloaded it, and here after I downloaded the file, I navigate into the bin directory, and here you can see there are like 3 to 4 files which are responsible for the Beanshell. So one is for the sampler, one is for the assertion, for the function, and then for the listener. So if these files are there, then you are good to run your Beanshell preprocessor, because let me show you. Let me just open the Beanshell processor for you. So yeah, let me open it here. So I'm opening the JMeter from the latest version, and yes. So here I have opened the latest JMeter version for you. So I have not added any other, I have not installed any other plugins or anything. It's just the direct one which I have downloaded. So I'm adding a thread group, and then under this I'll just show you. So under the sampler here you can see the Beanshell sampler, and under the preprocessor you can see the Beanshell preprocessor. Under the post processor you can see the Beanshell post processor. Under the assertions as well you can see the Beanshell assertion, and even for the timer you can see the Beanshell timer. For the config, no, there is no config element from the Beanshell. And for the listener you can see you have the Beanshell listener. So if you have just these items in your uh, downloaded folder, then you are good to do your work. Like you can use that to configure your Beanshell preprocessor or the post processor or anything that's related to Beanshell. You can do it. Okay. So now let's move to the second part, which is randomize the number, and then we are going to save it in a CSV file. So the first part here, let me add the Beanshell preprocessor as part of it. So Beanshell preprocessor, and now let's write the code. So the first few things, let me just, so to randomize, okay, let me just type it for you. Sorry, there's a message in my table. Okay. So the first part is import java.util.random. So this library will help you to randomize the numbers. And then in case if you want to define the range of random numbers, you can do it, or if you not, or if you want to extend the range, you can very well do it. So I'm going to create the minimum as 0, and the maximum is going to be 10,000. Okay, so the first one is going to be your minimum value, and this is going to be your maximum value. And now we will define the number of random numbers to generate. Number of random numbers to generate. So in case if you want like 10,000 numbers, or if you want to generate just 100 numbers, you can very well do it. So I'm going to give the number of random numbers which I want to generate. So number of random numbers is equal to 100 in this case. And next, let's move on to the next line of this code, which is going to be creating a random number generator. So we're going to create a function which will create the random number generator, and it's going to be random space random equals new random of. So this function will generate, this will actually try to this, we are actually initiating the random number generator, and then we are going to generate and print the random number. So this is going to be the first part of your second part. So just first we're going to generate a random number, and then after that we will save that number to our file, the CSV file. So first you're going to generate and print the random numbers. Okay. And for that I'm going to write a for loop. So we can write for while or do while. So in this scenario I'm going to use a for loop which is int I equal to 0, I less than number of random numbers which we already have here. So this will define the maximum number of numbers which are going to generate, and then I plus plus. We all know it's a very basic thing. And then sorry, let me come back here. Okay, and then now I'm going to do a int random number is equal to random dot next int of. So first I'm going to get the maximum, and then the maximum minus minimum plus 1. So this will get the numbers. Then I'm going to just print it. Okay, just log.info, we all know this is just going to print it in our log. So then random number, let me give a space here. So I plus 1 will print the random number, then a space. So plus will actually add those values in your print statements or in the log statement, and then pairs.put. Here we are going to print the value again. String dot value of. So now we are ready to generate the random numbers using the Beanshell processor, and after that let me add a HTTP request. So this, using this I can show you the numbers which we are generating here, and this is just going to be a random one, a simple random one. So I'm just giving a sample server name and the IP, then just it's going to be a post request, and then we will add the values here. Okay, so the name is going to be test underscore ID, and then the value is going to be dollar bracket random number underscore 1, because this is how we have defined here. So if you see, we have the values as the random number in the part 1 in the previous part. So we're going to give the same value here, and let's see how does it work. So I'm just giving the random number underscore 1, and then let me add, so we can actually add it. Let me do a add, and then let me just, so this is to just show that we are getting some values. I'm just typing the 50th value, and then the 100 value. Here, let me come back. So I'm just printing the 100th value. And after this, the most important one, which is the view results tree. So this will show us how does the uh, test goes. And then under the bin folder, I'm creating a new folder, which is going to be the Beanshell underscore preprocessor. Under this, you're going to create a random generator .jmx. We have saved it. Let me clear it, and then let's check. We have one thread with one loop count, and let's start the test. The test is completed now. We have got one error. Okay, meanwhile, let's see the request. Okay, so here we have got the values, but it doesn't look like the expected value. So let's see what happened, and let's try to fix this issue now. Okay, so I have found the reason here. So I have missed a semicolon in this place. So that's the reason the error has come. And in case if you are building the same thing, please make sure you are not missing any semicolon or any other syntax errors. Okay, so let's now save this, clear everything, and run the file. Yes, so now we have we have just created the file, and going back to the results tree, here we can see the random numbers that's getting generated. Okay, and the reason we could not see the random numbers here is that because the value here is random space underscore random space number underscore. So let me change it here, and let's try it again. So these are some of the ways where we can fix the issues and we don't find like why it's happening or what is happening. So these are some ways we have to debug our scripts in some fashion. So let me just fix it up. Yep, and we are ready now. So let me run it again. Come back to the review HTTP request. Yes. So here now we can see the random numbers, the first number, the 50th, and then the 100th number. So now the next part, which is we are going to save these numbers in a file. And for that, let me come back to the Beanshell processor, and so we have to have these libraries in the JMeter, which is the file writer, which will write your file, then the IO exception, which will trigger or it will help us to find for any exceptions, and then finally the print writer. So this will help us to write the file. And there is no changes to the range of numbers, so it's going to be 0 and 10,000, and then the number of random numbers which I'm going to generate is 100. It's going to be the same thing, and then the function, yes, it's the same. We are going to create the random numbers using this function. Let me clear this and bring it down for now so that I can view the code. And then now we are going to specify the file, the CSV file. And for that, let's come back here, specify the path to our CSV file. It's going to be string CSV file equals, we have to give the file inside the code. So there is one more thing which we have to do. So let me open. So I have the folder here, and if I copy the location and paste it in my code, so I can copy it and paste it in the code, and there is a mistake. If I'm running this one, it won't work because it will fail for a reason that the slash which I'm using here has to be the forward slash rather than the backward slash. So we have to make sure that we are running with the proper, again, it's a part of a syntax, so just make sure that we are running with the proper slashes here. So I'm just changing it. So after you change, you can just see the color of the folder number has changed, folder name has changed, right? So if you can just see, until I keep it with the wrong slash, the backslash, it doesn't work. The moment I change it to the forward slash, the file, the name has actually, the color of it file has changed. So just make sure this is one of the symbol that it's working fine. Now, so now I'll create a file which is going to be text document, which is going to be random.csv, and I'm going to use the same file. So let me just copy the file name here, go back. So it's going to be random.csv, and now I'm going to create an exception where I'm going to just try to catch the file in case if there are some issues while creating the file. So I'm going to create file writer and print writer objects to write to the CSV file, because that's what is being asked in the help section. So to us in the question, in the comment section. So I'm going to write the comment is going to be file writer, again file writer. I'm going to initiate the file writer thing here. So it's going to be a CSV file. So in case if you want it in a different format, like for an example as an XML or as XLSX file or in any of the formats, we can just do it. And I'm going to do a print writer part. So it's going to be print writer. So it's going to be the print writer function. So it's going to be file writer. And now here we have the function already, which is the function to create or function to generate the numbers. And let me cut this closing braces and I'll paste it here. And before that, let me print. So we have started the print writer, so we have to close the print writer function. So I'm going to do it here. So the print writer dot close. So just closing it here, and now we have the closing braces. And finally, I'm going to output the success message, because this will tell us that we are in the right path. And for that, I'm going to use the log.info. So random numbers are saved to CSV file. I'm going to add the CSV file here. So this will tell us what file we have used to save it. And then we can now close the braces, the open braces which we had, the closed braces which we had. And then I'm going to close this try catch with the IO exception. So this is why we have imported the IO exception. So now we have done it, and then there is one last thing which we have to do before we complete it, which is handle the IO exception, input out exception through this command, which is log.error. So this will log the error in case if there is any related to this part. So error occurred while writing to CSV file in case if there are any issues. e.get message will get the message and print here. So now we are good. We are good to start our test, and let me save it and go back here. So it's now an empty file. So you can see it's just an empty file. There is nothing in the file now. Let's go back, clear everything, run the test. You can see the issue is coming here. So it's always good if we get an error. It's always a learning part for us. But before that, let's see whether the data has been created. Okay, so no, the data is not created. Let's come to the view results tree. Here, yeah, again we can see there are some errors. I think there should be some issue with the semicolon. Let's check it. Okay, I think we have, yeah, it's the same thing like we did previous time. So the semicolon part, we have found it. So the more you do mistakes, the more you learn to fix it every time. So don't worry about doing mistakes. Please do mistakes at early time so that you can just fix it in a quick manner when it comes when you face it for the second time. Let's clear it, run the test. Again, there is an error. Let's check the HTTP request. Okay, I think we have to still fix something. Let's check it out. CSV file, for loop. We have not changed anything in the for loop. Let's go back to the, this will actually help us with some comments. So let me just copy paste it in the notepad so that it will help us to understand. So we can see here that there is an undefined argument of CSV file, that there is an issue with accessing the variable CSV file. So let's go back to the code and we will see again. So here I have got random function, file writer, I have exception, everything is fine. Int minimum maximum, we have not made any changes to it. And then the number of random number is going to be 100. Yeah, no issues with that. And okay, let's come to the file name here. So as we can clearly see that there's an undefined argument CSV file. So again, JMeter is very case sensitive, and here you can see the string as CSV file which was with the small lowercase, but everywhere else it's defined in the uppercase, like the file, the F. So that's the reason it has failed. So now let me save it again and then let me run this script. So now let's see what is happening with the script. And this time there is another issue, which is undefined argument file writer. Yes, and in the code you can see there is the file writer which is in the lowercase, and I think we are done with the issues, I guess. Yes, so now there are like 0 issues. And let's come back to the view results tree, and we have got the random numbers. Let's go to the folder here and let me refresh it. Sorry for the reason. Let me just check the, yes, so this is the right location, and we have got the 100 numbers. So let me open this file. Let me just refresh it. Okay, so for some reason I could not find the files, the numbers which are printed here, saved here. Okay, and the reason is because we have not print, or we have not returned the file. So we have the for loop, okay, so which we have already seen, but the problem here is I have not returned the file here. So I'm going to just add the statement which is print writer dot println. So this will print the numbers to the next line, and the number is going to be random number. So now this should print. Let me just save it, clear all the logs, run the file, so there are no errors. Let's go to the folder, and yes, so here we have got 1 KB of file. Let me open it, and yes, now we have got the random numbers that's been generated and saved to the CSV file. So I think this video would be very, very, very interesting and informative to you, because you have fixed the issues with me. So I have just fixed the issues, and I have showed you how the issue happens and how to fix those errors. And these are like very minor errors, but once you start working on it, you might get a lot of knowledge, a lot of insights into it. So I wish you all the very best, and I think I have solved you the issue. In case if you have any other questions, please do comment in the comment section. We will just see that in our next video. So until then, it's bye bye for Vasan Shanmugam and your Little Slaw.